What's going on, everybody? Evan here with Evan's Detailing and Polishing. Today we're talking about white lines, not brown or yellow lines. We do get this question a lot, is how do I fix my lines? And my first question is, what color are they? Are they white lines, or are they brown or yellow or gold lines? We'll break down that in a separate video, but this specific video right here, we're just breaking down white lines. I literally have to remember and train myself to physically burn something to be able to show you yellow or brown lines. But 9 out of 10 white lines, I would even go as far as to say 99 out of 100 white lines are not burn marks. So what I have here in front of me is this section has been recolored. I over colored this section. I colored it probably 10 times in a row, and then I acidized it and recolored it another 10 times in a row just so that I could prove a point. You'll see from my GoPro camera that I'll put in here, when I acidize it, you can see it really well, the over coloring. Most green bars and blue bars have a product in them called either chromium oxide or alumina. Both products will fill up in the pores of the aluminum and create excess. Once the pores of your aluminum are full, it won't accept any more. So if you keep just piling it over the top, eventually it'll fill in the pores and cover everything up, and it'll look fine. But over the course of the next few weeks, when your customer or yourself go and wash it and take the excess waxes and stuff off, going through a truck wash or going through your own wash, a lot of those greases and waxes will start to disappear, and you'll start to see white lines. Now those white lines still could be a mix-up in your cut, or they could be excess in color. I'll show the difference between the two here in the GoPro video. Now this section here was cut and colored. It's one of our training tanks. One of our guys that came in not too recently practiced on this tank maybe a month or two back. We trained a guy, and I was explaining to him that these white lines are misses in his overlap on cut. Now I couldn't just show it to you over the polish, because the polish was nice and shiny and it looked great. You couldn't see it unless you get it in the right light, like if you took it outside or whatever. But I acidized it here, and you'll see in this GoPro video where those white lines are. So those white lines look a little different, but to an untrained eye, they can look very similar. So the difference in the white lines is definitely just what I did for the process. Now, if I didn't physically know what I did, like if somebody just sent me a picture, I'd have to ask you and try and figure out what it is that you exactly did. So I had a guy inbox me the other day, and he was mad because it was taking me forever to answer his question because he felt like I was asking him too many questions. I hope this video kind of clears some of that up, because I felt terrible. But unless I watch you do it, sometimes it's hard for me to diagnose what it is just looking at a picture. Everybody uses different products, everybody uses different processes, everybody uses different compounds. So by changing all those three variables, now mix in pressure, overlap, technique, temperature, all these other things. There's so many variables that can adjust and screw up or make great what your polish is. So I'm hoping to break that down a little bit better. So this process here, like I said, I over colored it 10 times, acidized it, and colored it 10 times again. And all I did was I just piled on the color. If you look, this looks absolutely perfect right now. Like, this is really shiny. It's not showroom shine by any sense of the term. There's a little bit of excess hash yet. If I let this sit for a day, it would cure out and probably be crystal clear with very little hash. But it looks crystal clear. And yes, I hit it 10 times. Now, if I let this sit a week and wash it multiple times, I'll start to see faint ghost white lines start to appear. Why? Because I use the green and the chromium oxide. There's an excess of green on it. I've hidden everything. But in a couple weeks, when it starts washing and all that grease starts to disappear, a lot of that stuff is going to just completely go away, and I'm gonna start to see what I did. I didn't cut underneath this, just colored. So in that video and the GoPro that you just saw, you saw that there was just an excess on there. I went back and recolored it again after I acidized it so you could see what an excess of color looks like. But in this section here was just mist overlap on my cut, and my color just emphasized it. So if you watch the light on, light off video on cut and color, you now understand why we see those lines in the color. If you haven't seen that video, you should definitely go check it out. It definitely helped a lot of people understand why they see lines in their color. But hopefully this all helps. Thank you for tuning into the channel. I appreciate you watching this stuff. Hopefully you guys are getting a lot of great information out of it. And stay tuned for a later video on brown lines and yellow lines. I'm hoping to make some sense of those, and I'm hoping that we can try and clear up some of that stuff. Not all burns need to be sanded to be fixed. Stay tuned for that. Peace.